Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Welcome back to the IMDb studio right here at Sundance 2017. And check it out, man. We're talking to the folks who made the movie Rebel in the Rye. Give it up for them. We're gonna start with you, Danny. This is Danny directed the picture. Danny, you do Empire. That's yours. You created that. You've done a bunch of scripts. You're everywhere these days. But you started as an actor, correct? Like, I was sitting there talking to my man before, and he goes, he looks so familiar. And I was like, you watch Buffy? He's like, yes! You come from Buffy world, right?
Yeah. That was my first big job. I was Jonathan on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right on.
Old school.
The movie itself is about J.D. Salinger.
Yes.
My favorite book on the planet, of course, is Catcher in the Rye. Are you a big Salinger fan? Are you one of us who's like, hey, well, I'd love to see a movie about him, and you go look for it, and there never was one? You're like, I'll do it.
Well, I'm not an obsessive Salinger fan. I love Salinger. I love the writing, and the book Catcher in the Rye was a big influence on me. But I had just, I was in a bookstore in the East Village and saw a biography on him that just came out. And I just thought, oh, I'll buy that. I mean, that could be interesting. So I started reading it, and I got halfway through the book, and I thought, wow, this is I had no idea this was his life. I mean, completely fascinating. And I just thought this, this middle section of the book, this story of how he came to write Catcher in the Rye, I think that would be a terrific movie. So that's where it all began.
Oh, tremendous, man. You chose this guy to play the role. Nick, there's not a lot of material to look up Salinger.
It's kind of a weird thing, yeah, where you're not doing an impression of someone who's necessarily known, but everyone does have such a strong opinion of what he was like and their thoughts on his life and his work. So you kind of just have to go back to basics. Luckily, Danny had written a brilliant script, and I didn't know much about his life. I'd read a lot of his books, but didn't know a lot about his life before, and read the script, and I was blown away by all the things he experienced and how he changed and all the things he had to deal with. And I was like, wow. And then kind of just learned as much as possible from what's out there, basically. And then physically he got into yoga, and I did yoga, and we did dance lessons, and would try writing myself, and learn about the Vedanta religion, which he got intrigued in later in life, and meditation and all sorts of things. Yeah, it's intriguing because he's got so many different facets to his personality. You have to kind of just try and learn each one, I guess.
What about you, man? Now, you've been blown up at the festival with Before the Fall. That went very well. Is that correct? You're in a second film here, and you play one of the most famous paramours of all time. What is that like? How do you research a role to play somebody who's long, long gone?
Well, it was the first time I'd played someone who was real, and it was exciting. I felt like I was taking this, I keep saying it, but I felt like I was taking this crash course in the 30s and 40s, and especially because she was really embedded in the New York elite society that we see so often in movies, because it's fascinating. And she spoke with a mid-Atlantic accent, which isn't even real. It was just created for movies. Mid-Atlantic, that doesn't make any sense.
What's an example of a mid-Atlantic accent?
Darling, how are you? Like that thing where you're like, what? What is that? Like it doesn't exist. And it was really thrilling, and I got to work with these two guys who are unbelievably talented and really nice too, which helped. So it was great, yeah.